Hi there, welcome to Wild Paint Studio. This is going to be a new series called Back to Basics. Here we'll be discussing hints and tips for beginners and newbies to see how and where they can improve if they're unsure where to start. I'll hopefully be able to provide you some insight and some tips. Let's get on with it. So today's episode is about paint. I'm going to be showing you the 8 basic colours that I believe will give you access to every colour. With these you can blend, you can mix any colour that you need. These are the 8 basics that I will stand by and say this is what I would use. If you have any suggestions as to any other basic colours outside of these 8 that I'm picked, please feel free to drop into the comments. What are these 8 colours, you may ask? Well, let's start with the basics. We have pure red, crystal blue, demonic yellow. These 3, they're your primary colours, your red, your blue, your yellow. I picked these particular colours because these are the brightest, most medium type of basic palette that you can get. I picked leather brown. The reason why I picked leather brown is chances are your model's going to have some leather on it, and to be fair, it's a nice mid brown. We can darken, we can lighten, and to be fair, I like it. What else did I pick? I picked up white. That way we can use it to lighten. Get rid of them. I also picked a black, and the last 2 colours are your metallics. For this, I picked shining silver. Again, we can lighten or darken this using our black or white, and our gold. Okay, to start with, what we're going to do is we're going to mix up some flesh. The colours I'm using here are the yellow, the red, and a tiny bit of white. What we're trying to avoid here is making an orange or a bright pink, so just be careful, try to mix up a nice little shade. Once you got that, you can then apply it over the model. This one just seems to have only the face showing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my time, base coat it with this nice deep flesh colour. And then what I'll do is I'll be mixing up the highlight. As you can see, that's that base colour done. I'm going to add some white into our flesh. Keep it nice and thin, keep adding some water and make sure the nice thin coats are going on. Then now I'm just going to highlight over the raised areas of the model. Picking out little details here and there. There we go. It may look a bit bright, but it will dry a bit darker. Right, for the next part, I'm just going to mix up a nice dark red for our tunic colour. I'm just going to base coat the entire tunic with the deep red that we've mixed. All I did to achieve this was just drop a bit of black in. You will notice in this video my hand tends to drift quite far down on this one. Hand placement was all over the place in this video, but I had a lot of fun making it and trying out this limited palette. Right, next we're going to put like the main bulk of our colours on. So we're going to put on this red. All I've done is add a bit more red into the mix. This is still a little bit darker than the pure red, but not much. What I'm doing is I'm leaving in the deepest creases that base colour. Next up, just got a tiny bit of pure red, and we're going to just brush over the highest areas of our model. There we go. Again, just the highest areas, leaving most of that other colour behind. Next up, going to just get all the brown done. I'll be painting yellow over the top of this, brown around these trousers. So just putting a nice base coat ready for that yellow. And I always find that the brown really does help the yellow be brought out a bit more. It's looking nice. This model's actually from, I think it was a free model, I got it, and I 3D printed it, oddly enough. But from My Mini Factory, I think it came from. Not 100% sure. If anyone does know where it came from, just let me know, drop it in the comments. So now I'm going to just put the yellow over the top of the brown base coat that I did for the trousers. Again, hand placement. Just drifting off straight towards me, and just still in the camera at the moment. Need to get better at this. As you can see, I'm just basically covering most of that brown, maybe in certain deep areas. I will be trying to print some more 3D models up in the future. If you guys have any suggestions for where I could get some nice ones, just again leave it in the comments. I'll have a look into it and I'll print and paint them. Next up, I'm just working on the blue on the shield. All I've done here is taken our crystal blue, deepened it down with a tiny bit of black, and just using this as a base coat layer. I'll be doing is painting the fascia of the shield, and then moving over to the sword and giving that a little base coat. Just leaving a small black line, or attempting to anyway, if I'd have picked a better brush, just near that emblem. Don't worry about making any little mistakes, you touch these up afterwards. And now I've just mixed up a slightly lighter blue, and just gently dry brushing it over the top. Almost a wet brush really. Still quite a bit of paint on there. Picking out the highest areas and leaving just those little swirls that came out just visible. As you can see, I base coated that sword. Again, I'm just going to get that little wet brush with the blue, and I'm just going to go over that nice and neat. Just applying it to the edges, making it into some kind of mystical sword here. Didn't really think too much about it, about how I was going to approach his sword, but I imagined some kind of mystical weapon, possibly forged in stone, don't know. But I had fun anyway. That's what this hobby is about, just having fun. enjoying yourself, taking your time with your painting. So it was here that I noticed that I'd lost half of my footage through moving house and just, yeah, been a busy week, moving house and stuff like that. You know, and I noticed that I lost or not recorded some of the footage of me filling in like the underside of the gauntlet and some of the extra highlighting on that sword. All I did to highlight that sword was dry brush a bit of white over it. As you can see, all I've done is base coat it with the silver and then a base coat in the gold areas, the areas I've deemed to be gold, with just the gold. And there'll be another technique coming in a moment where we just use a couple of washes to tone those down. Some of you may notice that the hair's been done as well. Again, can't find that footage. All I did for the hair, the Colosseum that you're standing on, is just using the black and the white, mix up some nice greys and work it up. Start at the darkest, work it up to the lightest, utilising some dry brush techniques. For a test print of the model, I've got to say it was amazing how detailed this came out. I also lost the footage for the seals that you can see on there. So yeah, again, all I did there was just mix up a cream colour, utilising a bit of brown, a bit of white, and then warming it up with a bit of yellow in there, and then slowly adding white to bring it up and up. As you can see, that's the model pretty much complete. All we got to do now is get some washes. So the first wash we're going to do is just going to be a normal black wash. All I've done, really dilute some matte black paint, and then dropping it in, trying to pick out those areas of detail that's on the armour. And this black wash is just for the armour. Really bring out some nice depth into this now. It was here that I decided that I'd just throw a bit over that Colosseum too. Not Colosseum, column, that's the one. As you can see, you just push it around, getting into those little detail areas that you want to just pick out. Just dab it into those places, let the wash do the work for you. Just drop it in. And here we go for the next wash, which will go for quite a few areas of the model. Just mixed up a really thin brown. I'll just be applying that over small little areas of the model, in the browns, into the flesh. As you can see, it's just picking out those extra details and throwing that little bit of extra shading onto the model. Just be applying it over those brown bits, as you can see, and then I'm going to just touch it over the gold as well. And here we go, that's the model complete. Overall, not bad. I had fun with the limited palette. It was great. Happy with the results, and I can't wait for the next challenge. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoy. Click the links in that'll pop up, and I'll see you in the next video.